ओम महादेवी च विद्महे विष्णुपत्नी च धीमहि तन्नो लक्ष्मी प्रचोदयात्.
Namaste. What are the mistakes people do in their spiritual life? Spiritual life is the first mistake people do is they think it is very easy. All they just need to understand is few concepts and they are very spiritual across. Actually, it is very tough. If in spirituality, if God is the goal, then very few souls have reached the other shore of the existence. There are very few souls. There are billions of souls which are born. Out of that, less than 0.001% of people reach the other side. So please understand, it is more difficult than getting Olympic gold medal. People take it lightly, people take it easily, people think spirituality is what they understand. They think who I am. If you ask the question who I am, immediately you will get enlightened. Now this is possibly true for Bhagavan Ramana, but it might not be possible for you as a person. So please understand, the first mistake people do in spiritual life is they think it is very easy. Second mistake what people do in their spiritual life is they don't have a discipline. They don't have a routine for spirituality. Now for example, you go to Hare Krishna, they will simply say you will have to chant 50 malas of Hare Krishna every day. Now if you go to Vipassana, they will say you will have to sit in the meditation for 12 hours. Like that, people don't have a discipline, or if you are doing Sandhya Vandanam, you have to do it 4 times a day, 5 times a day. Now people don't have a discipline. All the time they are listening to discourses, they are reading some books, they think they have become very spiritual. It is absolute nonsense. For example, Krishna says, not a leaf stays without my will, Arjuna. Now, to understand that everything moves because of God's will is a supreme understanding. Theoretical knowing is very different from supreme understanding. So therefore, please don't confuse that you do not require a practice. You require a solid practice of 6 to 8 hours every day if there is going to be real progress in spiritual life. I saw a man who was a devotee of Patinathar. There is nothing wrong. Patinathar was a mystical saint who performed lot of miracles across. But the problem was, I asked him what is his spiritual routine. He said, morning I will get up and I will read some Padigam for half an hour. That's it. I asked him, do you do prayers in the afternoon? Do you do prayers in the evening? Do you do prayers in the night before you go to sleep? No, he actually does not. So the problem is, he thinks he is very spiritual, he has to become like sannyasi, the world is a very painful place. All that bullshit and all is there because he wants to escape the physical reality. He cannot take on the physical reality of making money and taking care of his children, the daily grind of life. He finds it very difficult. So he has developed an escape route. First of all, please think that if you are going to listen to some discourse and think you are going to become very spiritual, it's absolute nonsense. It is like thinking because I listen to a lecture on 10th standard, they will give me pass mark. No, you have to have a better understanding of that. All this talk about Shravana, Manana, Nididhyasana is not going to work unless you are going to have a daily routine of whatever you are going to do. The third one is you should have a proper theoretical understanding of the root text. If you are going to practice Advaita, then you need to read the book written by the Ramas Guru Vashishta. It's called Yoga Vashishta, where he clearly explains the principle of Advaita. So similarly, many people don't have an understanding about the theoretical, the basic root book. For example, you might read Tiruvasagam, but the root of the thing is it is in Saiva Siddhanta, and Tirumular has written a book about the Saiva Siddhanta in a very, very clear manner. If you are going to practice Agori or Kapalika Marga, you need to read the root textbook of Matsyendranath. If you are going to follow Tibetan Buddhism, you need to understand Guha Samaja Tantra, Chakra Vamsa Tantra, Kala Chakra Tantra. Now, without understanding any of these things, people try to jump into it and people believe that they are very, very spiritual. For example, one of the biggest guru in today, he doesn't have any kind of spiritual knowledge. Neither he has read the original books, nor he has had the time. Instead, he drives in the bike, he goes meet Will Smith, and he pretends as if he is all-knowing. He has all the answers in the world. Like, for example, he says, why did they draw a straight lane with the India and Pakistan? Now, India and Pakistan is supposed to fight according to the British expectation. But unfortunately, it didn't happen to the extent what they were interested about it. Like that, without understanding, he talks about all theory. It's called Jagi Vasudev. If you see his theoretical understanding of spiritual life, of reading the original books, for example, as he read Viveka Chudamani, Ashtavakra Gita, like that, it is not there. So this is the problem with the people is, first thing is they don't have a spiritual practice. Next is their theoretical understanding is very, 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 very limited. You can easily become a guru, wear a garuva and say you are enlightened, you have reached God, and everybody has to believe it because nobody can prove it across. So this is the first, these are the three problems of the spiritual life. Taking it lightly. The second thing is always interested in lecture, discourse, not interested in practice, and not having a theoretical understanding. And very, very important thing is you need to practice lot of loving kindness in spiritual life. If you are, the Guru Padma Sambhava says very beautifully, ascend with the conduct, descend with the view. Which means you need to get yourself inspired by thinking about death before your practice, before you sit in the meditation mat, or as you are sitting in the meditation mat, think about death, think about how many lifetimes you have struggled to reach God, think about a variety of difficulty and obstacle which has come, and think about, thank God for the easy availability of time and money for you to sit down and do your practice. But your practice should lead to an external expression of love, compassion and caring with people across. Now many people try to live a cloistered existence and they simply say, I don't give a damn about the world, I want to get enlightened, I want to run away about it. No, that is not true. Gautam the Buddha says very beautifully to his father before he goes to it, he says very beautifully, he said, Father, there are so many people who are suffering in life with different kinds of ailment and different kinds of delusion. I want to cure that. I want to find a path. So, for the sake of the humanity, for the sake of the world, I want to get enlightened. That is compassion. If you are not having a bodhicitta, if you are not thinking of a spiritual, what you call it as usefulness for others, instead thinking all the time, everybody should give me free, everybody should donate to me free, and I am the Swamiji. I met on Swamiji, I was amazed. So he actually said, I want my thing to be put on the website. I said, oh, very good, sir. This is the cost. He got very angry. He said, how can you ask money with the sannyasi? But how will I get that money? Where will I go for that money? There was no understanding. So stop behaving in a very, very arrogant fashion that you do not have a loving kindness, you will reach God. That is not going to happen. You need to develop a lot of loving kindness. The fifth and the most important thing, don't do too much of marketing. One small experience, immediately you trying to market, you have one very difficulty in marketing. And I have seen this with Sai Baba people. They go on marketing. Actually, you stop talking, you realize that your practice will show who you are as a person. Your practice will have a lot of understanding, it will lead into you. So please don't make this mistake of over marketing, over exaggerating your spiritual life across. I pray God that may all your spiritual understanding bloom and awaken, and may you really do well with your spiritual life. Thank you. Namaste. We are talking about one world, one government, the future prophecies of the world. We are going to talk about money. Now, money has different colors and shade with different kinds of currencies which are coming across, and of course, you have cryptocurrencies which are happening. What are the future trends about money? Three trends will break very clearly. First of all, all the currencies, slowly the world will come into paperless money. Paperless money means it's like Paytm, it's like Google Pay. All those internet money transacting medium will become the medium of exchange in the future. There will be a lot of people who will be sending the entire money across only through these banks and through these internet payment gateway. In fact, literally, the important function of the bank of holding and sending the money will disappear, and it will be these kind of apps, the financial fintech apps will be taking over. The second thing is, all these things will become electronic. There won't be any kind of physical money or papers will be there in the future. It will be the end of the era of money which will be happening across. The third one is, you will also have a trend which will be breaking across. The world will be feeling for a common money platform will be there. It will happen in two phases. There will be a group of countries, for example, Europe will have a currency like Euro. The Africa can have a currency like Africana. The Russia and the Asia can have an Asiatic currency, and the America, South America, North America, all that can have an Asiatic, American currency can be there. Now, afterwards, there will be a common global currency, but which will be traded across with the different currencies of the world. There will be various different currencies will be there, but there will be one currency which will also be there. So this will be the dual system which will be operating across. It is like this. The euro is there, but there is also an individual currencies which the people have across. So this will be the evolution of the money which will happen across. So the evolution of the money will also lead to the evolution of the stock exchange. Earlier, the stock exchange in India was before the automatization. There was Madras Stock Exchange, there was Delhi Stock Exchange, like that. Every country has a variety of stock exchange. All these will get united across as a single stock exchange. Now, before it becomes a single stock exchange, you will be able to trade in different stock exchanges. For example, Indians are now trading in American stock exchanges. American investors are able to trade in various stock exchanges across the world. Now, this will become a common trend where different groups of people enter into different countries' stock exchange, commodity exchange, forex exchange, and will be able to trade. Now, this will lead to slowly all the country stock exchange getting connected to a one common stock exchange, one common currency exchange, one common commodity exchange. It will be like a common place where the entire globe will monitor this thing. Now it is all segregated by continents, segregated by the countries. These are not so much united, and now in fact people are taking the first step of buying the stocks in America. American investors for the last 10 years have been buying stocks from the different kinds of countries using things like Goldman Sachs and all that thing across. So that will be a major jump which will be happening across. So as the money dissolves, these kind of exchanges also will happen. There will be a lot of apps which will be coming across where you will be able to buy and sell any kind of stocks across the world, and also you will be able to buy any kind of commodities across the world. You'll be able to trade in any different n number of currencies across the world. Now this is going to be the future step where you will go into one global commodity, one global stock exchange, one global currency exchange, which will be happening across. But that might take another 200 to 300 years before such a phenomenon unfolds. But these are the trends which will be setting in the future. Remember, no Nostradamus has ever talked about the currency, about the stock exchange. These were not available, these were not old. So some people were asking about the cryptocurrency. The cryptocurrencies will be there in the negative web, but also the countries also will be issuing their own cryptocurrencies, and also the what you call the internet way, the electronic way of issuing money will also be there as a person. So the cryptocurrencies will get weeded out from the main exchanges, but the cryptocurrencies like China will introduce Yuan as a cryptocurrency. Now India will introduce like that. There will be legalizing the cryptocurrency, but that they will be doing it with their own currency. So this is the future of the money, because this is heading into it, and you will have global banks. There will be like the ASEAN Development Bank will be there, then there will be the European Development Bank will be there, then the South American Development Bank will be there, the World Bank is there, but there will be many big mega banks which will be coming across, which will be aiding the development, the infrastructure projects of the people, which will help you across. So you please understand that these things will have a massive change. So what are the infrastructure projects they are going to do it? Roads. But roads are intercontinental roads. Imagine from Australia to Sri Lanka there are roads. Sri Lanka to India there are roads. Sri Lanka to Cape of Good Hope there are roads. And Cape of Good Hope to South America there are roads. Like that, there will be intercontinental roads which will be coming across the sea. It will be coming across. This will be a major jump into the humanity. Also, there will be tunnels which will be done and which will be running across the continents. For example, we are talking about the Paris-London tunnel. Like that, there will be tunnels which will be running across the globe. For example, you have an Atlantic tunnel, you will have a Pacific tunnel, you have an Indian Ocean tunnel which will be connecting many countries across. So this will be a major jump which will be happening across. The third thing is, we have a fragmented railway network which is being there, but this fragmented railway network will all be connected. So if you are trying to get your train in Australia, you can end up by changing station, by changing trains, possibly you can end up in America. So you will have a lot of rail transportation which will be growing up in a bigger manner, and also there will be that flights will be there. Now you do not have a 24 hours flight. Like from America, you'll have to land into Dubai and then you'll have a stopover. But now you have a non-stop flight to Singapore. Like that, there will be many non-stop flights which will be flying across, which will be coming across. And like Elon Musk, there will be new ways of transportation like speed tunnels, all that will be there. So the speed of traveling across India, for example, it is taking 3 hours to reach from Chennai to Delhi, you probably can reach within 20 minutes. So what is taking days, what is taking weeks will come into days, what is taking days will come into hours, and what is taking hours will come into minutes. For example, you are taking from Trichy to Chennai, you are taking 45 minutes to travel by flight, you probably can reach within 5 minutes across. So the point is, the speed of travel will improve mammothly across. So I told you about the money, I told you about the kind of exchanges which will be happening and the infrastructure projects which will be developing across. Then there will be also the One Belt initiative. Like Africa will get connected across in one world, the Asia will get connected across before the globe gets connected across. So there will be immediately all the countries will get connected across. And like India and Pakistan, you can travel freely, not only by a single train, but multiple trains, by multiple roads you will be able to travel. In the ASEAN countries, you will be able to travel with multiple roads and multiple countries across, like how you are traveling right now with the Golden Quadrilateral. Like that, the transport facility will improve so much that you will be able to do that. Now what happens when you improve the transport facility across? There will be people studying in different places. Like you can be born in Chennai, you can get your child educated in Paris, and possibly they can do their college in America, and possibly they can work in Japan. So we are telling that I was born in a particular village, then I came into the city, then I moved into a different country. This will be moving into multiple countries across. It will be like telling Norman Squashcoff was born in America, got trained in Iraq, again went to America. Like that, we will also be traveling into different countries across. Norman Squashcoff was the American commander who led the Iraqi invasion against Saddam Hussein. So you will have what you call it as multiple location. Many people will move into multiple location. For example, they may be born in Belarus, will move into Czechoslovakia, then they might go into Russia, then they might end up in Japan. So people changing countries will be very, very common, will be learning multiple languages will be very, very common, will be adapting to multiple cultures will be very, very common. So this will be an automatic extension will be there. So the next thing is the love marriages in the world will be common. Now imagine the African brides getting married to an white man bride. Now same thing can happen. The Jewish can get married to Arabs. The Arabs can get married to Indians. The Russians can get married to Arabs. Like that, there will be intermingling of races which will be happening across. Earlier, there was no intermingling of races, which will be a rare or one or two phenomenon was there, which was happening across. There was inter-jati marriage was happening across. There was like African Americans and black and white was marrying across. But it's like, for example, Serena Williams got married to Reddit founder, like the black and the white getting together across. But that will be a massive change which will be coming. There will be interracial marriages which will be happening across. There will be interracial kids which will be happening across. Many of the Brahmins will be very, very shocked, and many of the so-called the Jati people will be very shocked. There will be movies coming about it where the two people like Pakistani and India can get married across, the Muslims and the Hindus getting married across. Multi-religious, multicultural, multi-racial marriages will be happening very, very common across. So this will be the impact. There will be what you call it as a single currency and a larger banks and a single stock exchange and the infrastructure projects I talked about, and then there will be people moving into different location. Obviously this arises to the multi-racial kids across as a person. So I hope this is very interesting. It is a direct walk and a peep into the future. We are talking about the dots of destiny. We are not talking about the individual plan and all that thing. There will be individual leaders who will be coming and executing it. But this is a sketch and the plan by which the world will unfold into the future. Many people are talking about the end of the world, which will never happen across. So I request you to look at this in a very, very different perspective. Thank you. The problems of matchmaking. Now many people come to me and say, we have tried to match many times, but it is taking a lot of time to match. The first problem of matching is the nakshatra kutas don't work. There are 5 reasons why nakshatra kutas don't work. For example, you take nakshatra kutas, can you predict the longevity? You can't predict. For example, if somebody comes and asks you, can you tell me whether the guy will do a good work or will he be unsuccessful? You don't know. For example, will the communication be positive? No idea about it. And the 4th most important thing in nakshatra kutas, it is a mumbo jumbo language which you find it very difficult to understand. For example, I saw the nakshatra kutas was matching, but there was Venus, Mars, Rahu was there. I told there will be problem in the marriage, so please avoid it as a person. They didn't listen, they went ahead and they had a lot of problem across. See, for example, a HR interview takes a lot of time to come to a conclusion about somebody. But whereas people want to take a jiffy about the marriage. Oh, it matches and you are trying to do that across. It just does not work that way. So please understand, try to use the Rasi chart, compare it with the other Rasi chart. I have written a book on matching. It is there in Tamil. If you want, you can download it and you can learn about matching itself. The 3rd most biggest problem is people are not trained in matching. There are a lot of subtle nuances. For example, they say Ruju Poruta is bad. Now Ruju Poruta need not be bad if you know to calculate the longevity of somebody directly. If you do the longevity calculation directly, you would be able to understand that there is no need to go through the Ruju Poruta. For example, if you take the 2nd lord, which is very strong, you don't need to worry about Dina Poruta and Gana Poruta. So the point is, people don't know the subtle nuances of this. Now they talk about Dasa Sandhi. Now one guy came to me and he said, I'm having a same Dasa like my spouse, will it affect you? I said, no. You are Dhanur Lagna and she is Meena Lagna. Both of them are Guru, which is very good. So you are not going to have a problem as far as the Dasha is concerned. All you need to do is the remedy to help you to become better. So this is a very, very important thing as far as the Dasha is concerned. The other important thing is, now you need to do remedies. Now many people don't do remedies across because they feel, why should I spend money? Have I not spent the money? If you go to Kalahasti, the way they do the Nagar Puja, it is frightening. It is really frightening. One Ashtotra for everybody and they don't even take proper Sankalpa. How will it have an impact? So the point is, you need to understand remedial measures are very, very important in marriage. When you do the remedial measure, it will have a lot of impact into a life. How does it work? It cleanses the aura, it cleanses the chakras, it clears the family karma, law of attraction enhances, the person aura becomes big, so the person is able to find the right person into his life across. That is the power of the remedial measure. We have done for so many people who are not married, many people who are, for years they have been searching, they have been able to get it across. But you need to understand whether your child is like Lord Ram. Lord Ram got married not by Dasaratha but by Vishwamitra. because Dasaratha felt he could not execute the marriage. Therefore, he called on Vishwamitra and he said, "Get him married. You are my Rajaguru. You are like my father to him. So please do help him across as a person." So this is very, very important. Not many people are aware that for their children, some people cannot do it. If the ninth lord and the fourth lord is afflicted, it is not possible. The other one is women like to promote their relatives to their children. They like to cut off the male part of the child, but actually it is the reverse. Many times from the father's side, a lot of good things would have happened, lot of good connection would have been happened across. So therefore, you have to understand that how to go about the matching, which will be very, very helpful to you. We can really help you with the matching. Don't need to worry. You can send us even in WhatsApp. We charge a nominal amount and we can send it. We will give you in writing. We'll record the video and send it across, which will be very, very helpful to you. Thank you so much. Keep seeing the video, which will be helpful to you.
सिद्धि बुद्धि प्रदे देवी भक्ति मुक्ति प्रदायिनी मंत्रमूर्ते सदा देवी महालक्ष्मी नमोस्तुते आद्यन्तरहिते देवी आदाय शक्ति महेश्वरी।
How to become a good astrologer? Now many people ask me the question, "Sir, how do I become a good astrologer?" It's very important that the best way to become astrologer is to read books, is to read both classic and non-classic book, that is of the contemporary author. Try to read the ideas and you try to implement it. This is one of the best way to become a good astrologer. A good astrologer is a person who is well read. It is not only astrology you read, you should have interest in maths, you should have interest in biology, you should have interest in medicine, and you should have interested in astronomy, you should be interested in the weather patterns, you should be interested in psychology. For example, you need to understand a lot about the human mind, yoga, ayurveda. Like that, you need to be a very open-minded in learning about a lot of subjects into your life across. Astrology is like a decathlon. In decathlon, there are 10 disciplines a guy follows: javelin, shot put, discus, hurdles, marathon, 100 meters. Like that, there are different kinds of things which are combined together to make into astrology. So astrology is a multifaceted discipline which require understanding of not only of astrology but also of the other sciences. That is why it is called as the Pratyaksha Shastra. The Pratyaksha Shastra means that which is happening in the life across. So you need to have a long love for reading. If you do not have love for reading, if you do not have love for learning, then astrology will become a very, very burdensome science, because you have to keep learning lifelong. So please read the classic textbooks like Parashura Hora, like Brihad Jataka, like Chamatkar Chintamani, like that of Paladipika. Like that, you read it across, like Prashna Marga. You also read about the authors like that of B.V. Raman, K.N. Rao, Sanjay Rath. Like that, you try to read. There are many online courses which are available these days. You can also go through the online courses, which is absolutely okay. The second point of becoming a good astrologer is you need to develop a lot of compassion, because you might be listening to stories which you have never experienced in your life. You might be listening to people where you have no idea that what they have gone through in your life. The early part of astrologer career is actually listening to a lot of people's stories and not getting emotionally disturbed about it. I know one lady who was listening to people who had a lot of marriage issue, and suddenly she got very frightened of thinking, oh, even my son will have a lot of marriage issue across. So it is very important that you develop this understanding with lot of compassion. You should be very good with listening, and that is objective listening. You should not get carried away by people, emotion, people's whatever they call it as their problem and their difficulty. You should be able to guide, counsel, predict, suggest remedies across as a person. So this is also an important understanding with astrology. The third important component is you have to give remedies. Do not try to practice astrology without giving remedies. How much ever you would have heard about it, is remedies is nothing, there is no use about it, what will happen will happen. This is all a crappy stuff. I have seen many people in their good time do the remedies, and I have seen many people in their bad time don't do remedies across. So it's actually your good time you start doing the remedy, and I have seen a lot of people having a bad time during the remedy. For example, there was a guy who was having Rahu Dasha and he was not able to make money across. So the point is, we suggested the Rahu Ketu Puja for 120 days, after which he joined up into the insurance across. So please understand, the first and the foremost and the important thing is to have the theoretical understanding of astrology. The second is to develop compassion. The third is to suggest remedies. We have written a book on remedies. We have put classes on remedies. If you go through it, it is very, very comprehensive. There was a guy who wanted to make his daughter pilot. She had attempted 2 times and nothing was happening. We asked him to do the Chatru Samhara Puja. He did the Chatru Samhara Puja with us, and next time she wrote the exam and she cleared it across. So this is also a very important thing, that the remedies do constitute the body of astrology. It is like going to a doctor and yet you are not going to get medicine, but you are only going to get diagnosis of the disease is no use. Sometimes timing is required on certain aspect. For many aspect, if you do the remedy, the problem will get cleared. In fact, you will have hyper growth, you will have steroidal growth if you try to use remedies. The remedies are amazing. It is beyond strategy, beyond mind, beyond emotion, speech, action. It works on the law of synchronicity, of linking the correct people, doing the people at the right time. It works on the energy body. So the third most important thing is to subscribe or make people do the remedy. The fourth most important thing, practice truthfulness. Don't try to lie, don't try to cheat, don't try to manipulate people into the words, because many of the time they trust you, they open up their energy, so you can have a lot of bad karma coming into your life by trying to manipulate people. There was a lady who came to me and she said, am I going to die? Please check my horoscope and tell. I looked into the horoscope and I found out that she was not going to die. I told her, Madam, I don't think so. You have Maraka Dasa, please don't worry about it. She was quite shocked because there was another astrologer who had asked us to perform some kind of a puja for 50,000 rupees because she was going to die. So please understand, don't try to manipulate people, because it has a lot of bad karma and there is a lot of karmic repercussion into your life across. It is very, very important that you don't try to try to lie, try to cheat, try to say false things to people across. The fourth most important quality is try to use the high-tech softwares which are available. Now many people are very, very confused about it. They think they should stick on to the old Panchanga, they should use all that thing. Now you have softwares of all variety like Parashura Light, like VedicAstrologer.org, like Jyotish List, which are both free and you might have to pay money about it, and they are very good software for computation. So please don't waste too much of time on computation, because these days computation has become so easy. So many parameters are available across. So learn to develop this attitude of using the latest technology. Now many astrologers don't know how to do a WhatsApp reading. Many astrologers cannot take the video calling reading. Most of them have problem across as a person. So please understand, there is no need to avoid the technology. In fact, technology helps you to perform better. The other day somebody came to me and he asked me, he said, do you use Panchang? I said, no, I don't use the Panchang, because all these things are available so easily. The calculation is in seconds and the computer does the computation, which has helped me for a person. So please do understand that this is an important aspect. The other one is you need to practice, get hold of people, tell about their past, tell about their future, write it down and give, and you need to practice it every day. It does not really matter whether you're right or wrong, whether you're coming correct or wrong. Over a period of time, you will develop a lot of competency. Go to Quora, answer their questions, go to different places, you can answer the questions across, which will be very, very helpful to you as a practice. Now, this is a very, very important thing. The other one is meet people who are successful astrologers. Astrologers who have had a very great reputation, who are financially very good, and go and talk to them and try to share their wisdom and understanding, which will be very, very helpful to you as a person. Now, all these things are very important. If you get a good guru in astrologer, it is very good. But you might not get a good guru, then you will have to keep following a path and trudging a path and going on your own. So please understand that astrology is a complicated subject. You need very, very important thing. You need a lot of compassion. You need theoretical understanding. You need to use the latest softwares, and also you need to keep on practicing. And very, very important thing, you need to be very kind with your client to listen to their problem across. I wish you all the best. We are also and also very important thing, try to suggest the remedies, which is very, very important towards the thing across, for the client across. Thank you so much.